Hey Osmead, hope you're all well. Doing a little bit of homework, working out, going outside and getting fresh air, and speaking to people as well, maybe your friends online somehow. Back with another chapter from the adventures of Odysseus, setting the trap. Odysseus looked up and saw his wife. He saw his wife for the first time in 19 years. His heart soared for joy, but he bit his lip, swallowed and said nothing. He got to his feet and followed her up the stairs to her bedchamber. "Old man," she said, "old man, sit down. I would like to speak to you. I have heard about you from my faithful swineherd Eumaeus. He tells me that you have heard rumours that my husband Odysseus is on his way home with chests filled with treasure." The old beggar shook his head. "Rumours, madam. Nothing but rumours." "I have heard nothing but rumours for 19 years now," Penelope said. "Now the time has come for me to choose a new husband and bid farewell forever to these walls that welcomed me as a wife all those years ago." The old beggar sighed. "Madam, I see your sorrows match my own. But tell me, which of these wretched suitors will you choose, and how will you choose him?" How will he choose? Oh, there's a picture up there. "Old man, I've been thinking about it all day, and I have a plan. Years ago, before he went to fight in distant Troy, my husband's favourite sport was archery. Sweet Odysseus would take his bow, which still hangs from the wooden peg on the wall of the feasting hall, and he would draw a bowstring across it. Then 12 axes would be set in a row the length of the feasting hall. 12 ceremonial axes, one behind the other, with their blades to the ground, their handles pointing upwards, and the rings of each of their handles in a row. When everything had been made ready, Odysseus, I can see him now as though it was only yesterday, would take an arrow and fit it to the bowstring. He would draw the bowstring back and loose the arrow through the rings of all the 12 ceremonial axe handles. Nobody could match him. I will set the suitors the same task, and whoever comes closest to Odysseus in skill I will take as my new husband. But old man, it wasn't to pour my heart out to you that I invited you up here this evening. I have had a dream, and often you travelling people are skilled at reading such things." "Then, madam, tell me your dream," the old beggar said to Penelope. "In my dream I kept a flock of fat white geese. I kept them in my husband's hall, and every day I fed them with my own hands. And in my dream an eagle swooped down from the mountains, flew through the door of the hall, slaughtered all the fat white geese, and sat on a rafter and sang." The old beggar chuckled. "Madam, that dream is easy to understand. The geese are the suitors who will feast in your husband's hall. The eagle is Odysseus, and one day he will return and kill all of them." Yes, old man, I know that. But dreams come to us through 2 gates, either through a gate of ivory or through a gate of horn. Those dreams that come to us through the curved and decorated gates of ivory are mere fantasies. But the dreams that come to us through the burnished gate of horn carry the truth. Which gate did my dream come through, old man? The old beggar looked at the floor between his feet. "I wish I knew," he said. "I wish I knew." Penelope sighed. "So do I." Then she turned and called over her shoulder, "Euryclea! Euryclea!" The door opened and an ancient servant hobbled into the room. Odysseus recognised her immediately. Euryclea had been his nursemaid, and she had been with him since he was a baby. "Eurycleia," Penelope said, "take this old beggar, wash his feet and give him a new warm woolen cloak for his old shoulders." The old woman beckoned to Odysseus. "Old man, come with me, come with me." The beggar got to his feet and followed her. She led the beggar out of the bedchamber and she showed him a bench where he could sit. She fetched a bowl of steaming water. She took off his sandals and she washed his feet. She washed his ankles. She washed his calves. She washed his knees. Then suddenly the old woman stopped. She stared in astonishment. Up the inside of the old beggar's thigh, she had seen a scar, a jagged scar. And there's the picture. She'd recognised it instantly as a scar that Odysseus had received from the tusk of a wild boar when he was a boy. She looked up into the old beggar's face. "It's you! You are home at last!" The old beggar reached down and pressed his hand. The old beggar reached down and pressed his hand over her mouth. "Shh! If you love me, hold your tongue. Say nothing." The old nursemaid nodded, her wrinkled face beaming with delight. She hobbled off, fetched a warm woolen cloak and gave it to the old beggar. She threw it over his shoulder and he winked at Eurycleia. She smiled fondly back at him. Odysseus made his way downstairs to the dark, silent feasting hall. He saw Telemachus sitting alone. He whispered, "My son, come here. Listen to me and do exactly what I tell you. Take all the weapons that are hanging from the walls and hide them in a locked chamber. If anybody asks you where they are, tell them they have become tarnished and smoke blackened, and they've gone to be cleaned and sharpened. Leave only my own bow hanging from the wooden peg and the 12 ceremonial axes. Then, when everything is ready, hide a bow for yourself among the shadows by the door, and also hide 2 quivers full of arrows, 2 swords and 2 bronze-tipped spears. Then go to old Eurycleia. She alone has recognised me and knows my secret. Tell her that tomorrow, when I signal to her, she is to make her way out of the feasting hall, and she is to lock all the doors from the outside." Straight away, Telemachus set to work. Odysseus went outside. He lay down on some soft grass under countless stars. He wrapped himself in his warm woolen cloak, whispered a prayer to owl-eyed Athena, closed his eyes, and fell into the sweet, oblivious balm of sleep. Setting the trap. Eurycleia knows. Telemachus knows what to do. What on earth is Odysseus planning? Tune in for the next episode of The Adventures of Odysseus.